This is a place where stone meets sky, where water defies gravity, and where, for generations, artists have come to capture the uncapturable. We are in Yosemite National Park, a cathedral of granite and light, but we are not here just to witness its grandeur. We are here to chase a ghost, a phenomenon so rare and so beautiful it's known as the Firefall, a moment when a mountain itself appears to bleed liquid fire. But the story of the Firefall begins not with nature, but with man. For nearly a century, visitors would gather at Glacier Point for what was called the artificial firefall. Hotel workers would push the burning embers of a massive bonfire over the cliff, creating a stunning 3,000-foot waterfall of fire that enthralled onlookers below. It was a spectacle of human ingenuity and showmanship, a tradition that became as iconic as the valley itself until it was silenced in 1968. When the artificial fire was extinguished, a different kind of legend was waiting to be born, hidden in plain sight. It required a different kind of visionary, a young photographer named Galen Rowell, who understood light with an almost spiritual intuition. He wasn't looking for embers. He was chasing the sun, convinced that on a perfect evening, nature could create a fire all its own. The natural firefall is an equation of celestial mechanics. It only happens for a fleeting 2-week window in late February, when the setting sun aligns perfectly with the horizon. The angle has to be just right for the light to slip under the shoulder of the opposite cliff and ignite the waterfall. For the rest of the year, Horsetail Fall remains a simple, delicate cascade, its potential for magic hidden from the world. But alignment is only half the battle. You need the sky to be perfectly clear, with not a single cloud to block the sun's final, crucial rays. And you need water, enough snowmelt to feed the fall, transforming it from a mere streak of dampness into a substantial veil of water. Without this perfect storm of conditions, the phenomenon is just a theory, a secret the mountain keeps to itself. On a late February afternoon in 1973, Galen Rowell stood at this very spot, his camera loaded, his theory complete. The sky was a flawless blue, and reports from the high country spoke of a heavy snowmelt. All the variables were aligning, but doubt still lingered in his mind. Had anyone ever actually seen this? Or was he chasing a myth of his own making? As the sun dipped lower, a faint, golden light began to kiss the very top of the waterfall. It was subtle at first, a whisper of color that any other photographer might have missed. But Rowell, attuned to the language of light, knew this was the first brushstroke of a masterpiece. The mountain was beginning to speak. And then it happened. The light flowed down the waterfall like a fuse being lit, transforming the cool, white water into a torrent of liquid flame. It was as if El Capitan had split open, and the Earth's molten core was spilling out onto its face. For a few heart-stopping minutes, Horsetail Fall ceased to be water and became a river of pure, incandescent light. In that moment, Galen Rowell knew he was witnessing something that transcended photography. He was documenting a secret Yosemite had kept for millennia, a performance put on for an audience of one. With a single click of a shutter, he didn't just take a picture. He captured a legend and preserved a moment of pure, terrestrial magic. Then, as quickly as it began, it was over. The sun slipped away, and the mountain was just a mountain again, cold and silent. The only proof that the miracle had ever occurred was the image latent on the film inside Rowell's camera and the stunned, breathless feeling in his own heart. He had witnessed the natural firefall. Back in his darkroom, the miracle happened a second time. As the image of the firefall emerged from the developing tray, Rowell knew he held something monumental. This wasn't just a pretty landscape photo, it was proof. It was the first widely known photograph of a phenomenon that most people would refuse to believe was real.
Incredible view, isn't it? Yeah, the light is perfect. Look at that cliff. Breathtaking.
Oh, look at that.
It's incredible, isn't it?
The pictures don't do it justice.
When the image was published, it sent shockwaves through the world of photography and beyond. People were captivated by the impossible sight of a waterfall on fire. Overnight, a secret, fleeting moment became one of Yosemite's most sought-after spectacles, all because one man had the vision to look for magic in the margins. Today, the quest for the Firefall has become a modern pilgrimage. For those 2 weeks in February, the valley floor fills with hundreds of hopeful souls, all armed with cameras and dreams. They come to witness what Galen Rowell saw, to stand in that same spot and feel that same fire. But the mountain doesn't give up its secrets easily. For every successful photograph, there are hundreds of empty-handed pilgrims. They come prepared for magic, only to be met by an overcast sky or a waterfall reduced to a mere trickle. The Firefall is a harsh mistress, demanding perfection and reminding us that nature's greatest shows are never a guarantee. But amongst the anxious crowd, there are always a few who understand the deeper lesson. They know that coming here is about more than just getting the shot. It's about the anticipation, the patience, and the simple act of being present in this valley of giants, waiting to see if the mountain will share its light with you. Then, on a rare, perfect evening, it happens. The collective intake of breath from the crowd is a sound more powerful than any cheer. For those few, fleeting moments, time stands still. The past and present collide as hundreds of people witness the very same miracle that Galen Rowell saw alone half a century ago. In this moment, the two firefalls of Yosemite finally unite. The man-made spectacle, born of showmanship, and the natural phenomenon, born of light and water, both find their meaning in the same thing, our enduring desire to see fire in the stone, to witness the impossible. They are bookends to the same human story of wonder. And then, as the fire dies and the stars take their place above El Capitan, the real magic of Yosemite settles in. It's not just in the spectacle, but in the shared experience, in the memory carried away in the hearts of hundreds of strangers. The mountain returns to its slumber, holding its secret close until the next perfect sunset. The Firefall is a reminder that some things are worth waiting for. It teaches us that the most extraordinary art isn't always found in a gallery, but painted on the canvas of the natural world for just a few precious moments. And that patience, combined with a little bit of faith, can sometimes make the mountains themselves burn. So, if you ever find yourself in Yosemite in late February, look to El Capitan at sunset. You might just see a ghost of fire. But even if you don't, you will have spent an evening in one of the most beautiful places on Earth, waiting for a miracle. And sometimes, that is more than enough. After all, the true fire is the one it ignites in us.